Hey guys, Hafu here, and today I'm going to be doing my Witchwood card review. As always, I'm only going to be reviewing them in the realm of Arena, so we're actually going to skip over a lot of the cards that have like even only cost and odd only cost, mana cost cards, because they're actually not going to be included in Arena. So let's begin. First card we have here is Paragon of Light. It's a Paladin card, 3 mana, 2/5. So I actually had trouble when I glanced over the cards, rating them all. I haven't rated them yet, but just like I wanted to have a feel of them. And yeah, so the first thing I'm going to look at for minion cards is their stats. So 3 mana, 2/5 can't be bad. It can't be bad, right? And then it has a little perk of Taunt and Lifesteal. So Taunt isn't that great for Arena. It's just like, it's fine. If it has Taunt, great. If it doesn't, whatever. And then Lifesteal. Lifesteal is okay. It's not like an amazing thing, right? It's not like Lone Champion, for example. The Divine Shield Taunt, it really makes that card shine. So if you buff this card, it gets Taunt and Lifesteal. I think it's fine. Like, I don't think the upside of it is enough to justify much, so I will put it at a 2.5. I think it's right between good and average. I wouldn't call it a good card, but it's slightly above average. Here we have Phantom Militia, Echo. So Echo is the new mechanic that they're introducing. Basically, if it has Echo on it, you can play it as many times as you want within a turn. So 3 mana, 2/4 Taunt. So 3 mana, 2/4, we can compare it to the Squirming Tentacle, 3 mana, 2/4, but it has the upside of Echo. So for 6 mana you can play 2 of these, 9 mana you can play 3 of these, etc. I mean, you won't really have 12 mana ever, unless you have double coin. Oh, whatever. Anyway, the point is that it has added value, which is really ridiculous in Arena, because as Arena has been evolving, it's that battle between how much value can you get while not completely getting overrun the early game. So this kind of allows you to do both. It's a curve play on turn 3, and it's still like a fine play late game, right? Whereas a lot of 3 mana cards, you know, when you're in a top deck war, you just kind of get run over if you curve too low. So for that reason, I think this card is going to be a good card. I don't think it's going to be amazing, but I think all the Echo cards are going to be like fairly good. So I'm going to put this at 2. Pumpkin Peasant. It's a 2/4 lifesteal, and every turn it swaps its health and attack. It's pretty interesting. I mean, 2/4 is average to below average stats. I would say the lifesteal kind of bumps it up a little bit. Same with 3 mana, 4/2, right? It's just like not great. 4/3 is really the stat line that we're looking for. But it's fine. I would say it's just average. It doesn't seem phenomenal to me. It's a card that you're not unhappy to take, but not happy to take either. So I'll put it at 3. Okay, Militia Commander. We have a Rush Warrior card. It is Battlecry, gain 3 attack this turn. So it's a 5/5 Rush minion on the first turn, and then it goes back to having 2 attack. I think this card is going to be ridiculous. It's really, really strong. It just helps you get bored, and Arena is all about board control and having favorable trades, and because it's a 5/5 rush, it's always going to trade favorably, and it can even trade up, right? So that's going to be very, very powerful. I think this is going to be not amazing top tier auto pick, but it'll be between amazing and good. I'm going to put this at 1.5. Azalina Soul Thief. Battlecry, replace your hand with a copy of your opponent's. So this card, I don't think is going to see that much play in Arena, because like it'll be pretty troll when it has a lot of value, but playing a 7 mana 3/3 is generally not enough, and you can sometimes justify curving very, very low and then doing this so that you kind of are out of steam and you play this and you get steam again. But it also has that, like, you know, asterisk that your opponent also has to have cards. So I just don't think it's very good. I'm going to say it's below average, almost unplayable. I would say 4.5. I'll put the 4.5 in there. It's not unplayable because it literally has stats, right? But I think it's pretty awful. Face Collector! 3 mana, 2/2 Legendaries, a rogue legendary. Echo. Battlecry, add a random legendary to your hand. So 3-mana 2/2 is understated, but the battle cry already makes up for it on the first one. This is going to be pretty nutty in Arena. Once people are out of steam, it will, I mean, it's just going to be good. I don't think it's going to be like amazing auto pick, and the reason for that is because the stats just aren't good enough, but it's definitely good. I would say it's at least good. It's going to be a fun card that people want to pick a lot, but you are sacrificing stats for value, which is fine. Right? Like if you play 6 mana, 2, like at 6 mana it gets pretty insane if you can take the tempo loss on board. And honestly, like on Rogue, you have so many tempo swingy cards that you can afford to play cards like this that are slower and like give you a lot of value. So I would say this is actually, I'm gonna change it to 1.5. I would say this is a very close to auto pick, but I think if it were like a 3/3, it would be absolutely amazing top tier auto pick. But because it doesn't swing the board back in your favor, like the way Primordial Drake does or something like that, I don't think it's going to be absolute top tier. So 1.5. Warpath, 2 mana warrior card, Echo. So you can play this over and over again. So 2 mana Whirlwind, 4 mana 2 damage AoE, 6 mana 3 damage AoE, 8 mana, 4 damage. So it's a 4 mana Flame Strike, but it also hits your own minions. But that's generally okay. I think this is going to be quite good because it's just like a card that you can play at 2 mana and it gives you the flexibility to play over and over again. I mean, 8 mana Flame Strike. It's not really a Flame Strike because it kills your board as well. But generally that's okay. You know, you kind of want cards like this since they still swing the board. They help you get the board back once you've lost it. So yeah, 8 mana Flame Strike is kind of what we're looking at, but I think it's still going to be very good. I'm going to put it at 2. I think 2 is pretty fine. 3 mana 3/4 Nightmare Amalgam. This is an elemental mech, demon, murloc, dragon, beast, pirate, and totem. 3 mana 3/4 already good. The downside is that it's a murloc and a dragon. The upside is that it's everything, and the downside is also that it's everything. Because the reason why it's a downside is because cards like Hunger Crab exist, Dragon Slayer exist, and also Dragon Slayer, Hunger Crab, and the Crawler. I don't know what kind of, the 2 mana 2/3 Pirate Eater. So it gets kind of countered by cards that are pretty common in Arena, which makes me not like it nearly as much because that I don't know. I hate that it synergizes like that. Like getting crabbed or Dragon Slayered or and having all of those cards be able to hit this is pretty absurd. It's still a good card. I think you should still take it. It's just absurd that like the Hunger Crab mechanic, like that kind of like Dragon Slayer, they exist because it's like a swing that's so unpreventable. But I would still say this has to be a good card, right? It's not a good card. It's probably like good to average, like 2.5. Like it'll synergize with their own things, but it will also get countered by every freaking counter. I'll say 2.5 because the stats are just too good. Houndmaster Shaw. It's a 4 mana 3/6. So okay, it's a hunter card. And rush means that it can attack right away, but not to face. Sorry, hunters. But yeah, this is quite good. Like, we can already look at the stats. So 4 mana 3/5 is about average. 3/6 is already premium. So it's already, like, above average. And then we give this other text. Your other minions have rush, and it's actually insane. I would say that this becomes insane with rush, because you just get favorable trades, which means you still have, like, a leftover minion. For those reasons, I'm going to actually put this at... I want to give it a 1. I really think it's a 1. Because it's just something that has to be dealt with, but yet has so much HP. You can play it alongside other cards. Like, it's just... I think it's going to be nutty. I'm actually going to put this at 1 for a hunter. My first one. Because it's just too good. Like, the stats are really, really good. And the upside, I think, is just nutty. So yeah, I'm gonna put it a 1. Vivid Nightmare. Choose a friendly minion, summon a copy of it with 1 health remaining. So it's a priest card, so meaning that the 1 health remaining isn't that bad. And they have a lot of death rattles in their deck already. I think this card will be pretty nuts, especially with some of the cards that are coming up. It has a lot of synergy, and yeah, I think this will be pretty good. A lot of times, if you have the board and you're able to just use your hero power over and over again, it's just absurd. So I'm gonna put this at, oh man, I don't want to be wrong, but I think it's gonna be a good card. I'm gonna put it at 2. I think there's a lot of upside to this. I don't think it'll be too slow. Witch's Apprentice. It's a Shaman, 1 mana 0/1, Taunt Beast, and battle cry, add a random Shaman spell to your hand. So this can be comparable to Babbling Book, right? The mage card, 1 mana 1/1, add a random spell, mage spell to your hand. The difference is that Babbling Book has stats and this doesn't, and I actually think that's a pretty big difference, but I definitely don't think it'll be bad. The other downside to it is there's a lot of bad Shaman spells that got taken out of Arena, but when you add a random one, you still can get like Ancestral Healing, Totemic Might, these kinds of like crappy Shaman cards. So unfortunately, I think this will be actually just average. I think it will be average. I don't think it can be truly terrible, but yeah, I think 3 is fine. Rebuke. Enemies' spells cost 5 more next turn. So it's kind of like Lotheb, the effect, but in a spell. I don't really think it'll be that good in Arena. It's kind of like a way to protect your board when you're ahead for 1 turn. But it's like 2 mana do nothing. It's just not, it doesn't seem that applicable. It seems a little bit too situational. I think it will block out mages a lot of the time, or you know, like it'll definitely have its perks, but you're really drafting this over something else that has stats and utility. I don't see it being great. I'm gonna put this at 4.5, maybe even 5, because like you don't really want to be spending a card to do nothing. Even if it's not truly doing nothing, generally people draft minions quite highly, so you generally still like they still have a play. So I don't think this is a great card. I'm gonna say 4.5, maybe even 5. Glinda Crowskin, 6 mana 3/7, legendary for a warlock. Minions in your hand have Echo. That's gonna be really annoying because it has 7 health, so the stat line is actually okay. 3 attack for 6 mana minion is quite low, but the upside is pretty absurd. And if you can put this behind a taunt and it can live, it will just get you so much value. With that said, because of the stat line, it's not like amazing stat line. I wouldn't put it at auto pick. I would put this at good. I'm gonna just put it at good. Maybe I'm underrating this card. We'll have to see. I think giving your hand Echo is going to be pretty nuts, but at the same time, it's still a 6 mana 3/7. Rotten Apple Bomb. It is a 5 mana 4/5 taunt, death rattle, heal, 4-tier hero. I think this is a fine card. The death rattle is not super applicable, and the stats are a little bit weak for the ask rate. It's a neutral. It's a taunt. It heals you a little. Like I would say this is just average. I think losing the 1 HP for the death rattle makes it just average, right? Like Drew the Claw is a 5 mana 4/6, but the reason why it's so good is because you have the flexibility of making it into a charger. What's another 5 mana taunt, like Fen Creeper, 3/6. I think Fen Creeper is just about average. I don't think this is that good. I don't think the upside is that good, so I'm gonna put it at 3. Witchwood Apple, 2 mana druid card. Add 3 2/2 treants to your hand. So it's a spell. Adds 3 2 mana 2/2s. I don't know. I think it's fine, but it's not great. I would probably put this at 4, because I think you can draft it, but I mean, like, you don't really want to be playing 2 mana 2/2s. It's like a slow card. It costs 2 mana already, and then you have to play 3 2 mana 2/2s. So it's just a little bit too clunky and slow. I think it'd be a different story if it were 1 mana 2/2s, but they're 2 mana 2/2s, so. Whispering Woods, druid card, druid spell. Summon a 1/1 wisp for each card in your hand. So reminds me of Call the Finishers, but it has a chance for an upside or a downside. I think this is pretty good. Like, you kind of want to be taking value cards anyway, and having like a way to flood the board on Druid is pretty dangerous since they have Savage Roar, Power of the Wild, Mark the Lotus. I don't know which one's rotating out. So I actually don't think this is a bad card. I think that it's going to be probably a 2.5. I think it'll be slightly above average. You can definitely have some good use out of it. Lord Godfrey, battle cry. Deal 2 damage to all other minions. If any die, repeat this battle cry. This is most likely an S tier card. It's just like too good. It's like a 7 mana 4/4 that like will clear any board, right? So it'll have a huge swing. I think this is an amazing card. I think it's just like you see how good Defile is, and then you tack on a body and you make Defile twice as good. So I think this is an amazing card. I would take this very, very highly. Any card that can swing the board in your favor and put a body is really powerful. This does just that. Muck Hunter. It's a 5 and a 5/8 battle cry. Summon 2 1 mana 2/1s for your opponent. So when you're behind, generally this is going to be like a 5 mana 5/4. That's what we're looking at. But it can also trade with like, you know, something else first instead of the 2/1s, and you can also like deal with the 2/1s. So I think this is actually going to be quite good. I think a lot of the time it will be good, and it's going to be really, 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 really irritating with this and MC Tech. I'm already imagining like being so annoyed by MC Tech with this. I think it's going to be a good card. I think this is going to be quite powerful. I think the rush mechanic's just good. And yeah, I'm going to put this at a 2. Red Van Wasp. It's a 2 mana 1/3. It's a warrior card. Rush has 3 attack wall damage. It's still a 2 mana 1/3. It becomes a 4/2 or a 4/1 at best. I don't see it being that good. It's alright. Like, you can kind of combo it with like Ravaging Ghoul or like Bloodrazor, but you still have to draft this card, and it just has that like asterisk on it. So I'm gonna say that it is below average. I don't think it's unplayable. I would just say it's a 4. Like, you can definitely get some sick value from this, but because it doesn't do it by itself, that's the reason why I don't think it's great. I think it's below average. Oh, Ghoul is rotating. Well, Bloodrazor is still in the game, right? Wanted. Deal 3 damage to a minion. This is a rogue spell. Deal 3 damage to a minion. If it kills it, add a coin to your hand. This seems just bad. Rogue has a lot of ways to deal damage. The coin doesn't seem good enough in Arena to warrant the mana cost here, and it's just not that good. So I would say it's 4.5. It's not unplayable because it does something, but it's bad. Yeah, it's a 3 mana deal 3, which is bad for Rogue, right? That's just bad. Clockwork Automaton. It is a 5 and a 4/4. Double the damage and healing of your hero power. So on Hunter, Mage, Rogue, not Rogue, Hunter, Mage, and Priest, this is applicable, right? I don't know how to think about this. I think I would take it on Hunter. I think I would take it on Mage. I think I would take it on... Yeah, I mean, it's anti-synergy on Warlock. I think on the 3 classes that it has an upside on, I could consider it, because just for 1 stat, you're getting an upside on your hero power. But, I mean, it doesn't trade that well for a 5 mana card, and I don't think the upside will stick too long. So, I'm going to go ahead and put this at a... I'm going to put this at a 3 for Priest, Mage, and Hunter, and a 4 for every other class. I don't think it works with Druid. It's not really how the card reads. Blackwalled Pixie. 3 mana 3/4 battle cry. Refresh your hero power. It is just good, right? Like, the battle cry doesn't matter too much. It's not a bad battle cry. You could do it with like Hunter or something, but regardless, it's a 3 mana 3/4, making it statted well with an upside. So I'll put it at a 2. 2.5. Put it at 2.5. Forest Guide. It's a Druid 1/6. At the end of your turn, both players draw a card. It's a 4-mana 1/6. It's a 4-mana 1/6. It's a 4-mana 1/6. So it's terrible. Could have put it at 4.5. I don't think you want to play this card. It has stats and it draws you a card, but I don't think you play this. Once again, the only thing I rate 5 unplayable is like things that are unplayable, like Ancient Watcher or Silhouetted Swarmer, right, for most classes. They're just like, it does nothing. You may as well not draft it. Anyway, 2-mana 2/1 Echo Rush. This is quite good. It's already fine at 2 mana, and late game you can get just like a lot of value. It's a nice way to clear. I think this is going to be a good card. I think every time I want to rate things a little bit lower on Echo, I just remember to bump it up a little bit more. I think Echo will be really, really strong, so 2 is quite good. Vexcrow. Whenever you cast a spell, summon a random 2-cost minion. Obviously it's going to be Troll with Doomsayer, but that's not a card. It's not a reason to not play this card. I think this will be very strong, very annoying. It's something that has to be dealt with. Anything that has to be dealt with right away is strong in my book. And you don't have to play it on turn 4. You can play it like later when you can play a bunch of spells with it. So I think it'll be good. I think it will be a good card. I'm going to put it at 2 because it really does have to be dealt with, and it's going to be quite annoying. Scaleworm. Battlecry. If you're holding a dragon, gain +1 attack and rush. So 4-mana 4/4 is average to below average stats. The Battlecry is if you're holding a dragon, gain +1 attack and rush, and it's beast. 4-mana 5/4 rush is definitely a good card. I think the upside makes it a fine card. I don't know how many dragons you really get in Arena like reliably, so I'm gonna put this at I'm just gonna put it at average. I think it's below average if you don't hit the dragon, and I think it's slightly above average, or it's definitely above average if you hit the combo, which equals out to a 3. I mean, it's really silly to rate these cards when you can't guarantee synergy in Arena, right? It's just like, what do you want me to say? I don't know. I think 3. Emerus. It's a 10-mana 8/8, double the attack and health of all minions in your hand. It's a 10-mana hunter card. So we've kind of all seen the problem with that, right? Is you don't get the hero power with it. If you're playing a value hunter, it's often a little bit too difficult because your hero power doesn't do anything for the board. So I think it's fine. It's definitely fine, but like, what kind of hunter draft are you playing? How many hunter decks do you play that get to turn 10 and then you still have a lot of things in your hand to play, right? It doesn't make that much sense to me. So I don't think it's gonna be that good. The reason being that it's just too hard to play that out and then have enough value afterwards. And a 10-mana 8/8 is fine, but it's not like incredible. So I'm actually gonna put this at average, and I really don't think it's gonna be such like a niche card, since like the hunter drafts that you see, even with all these new echo cards and whatnot, I don't think you're gonna be wanting to curve so highly that this is gonna buff like 8 creatures and finish out the game. I'm gonna put it at average, which is kind of insane. Darius Crowley is a 5-mana 4/4 rush warrior card. After this attacks and kills a minion, gain +2/+2. I think this is gonna be really good. And I think it's going to be really good because the rush part is obviously like you get to charge something, but gaining +2/+2, I mean, it's not exactly a 6/6 charger. It's like a 4/6 charger, right? Kind of. But the thing is, you can set it up from your hand, and every time it kills a minion, it gains another 2/2. I think that's absurd. I think this card will be really, really strong because not only will it kill something, it will gain health, but it has to be dealt with, otherwise it just keeps growing. So I'm gonna put it at amazing. I think this card is going to be amazing. So putting it at 1. I think that it will be much better than people think. Coffin Crasher. It is a 6-mana 6/5 Death Rattle. Summon a Death Rattle minion from your hand. I hate this card. It's gonna be way too strong. This is another 1. Without a case. Without a doubt, it's definitely a 1. This is 6-mana 6/5. We can kind of compare it to Bone Drake. Yeah, this is like maybe the best card I've seen yet. Like Bone Drake is ridiculous because it gets you value in your hand. It fights well on the board. This fights well on the board and gets something from your from your hand into play, and then death rattle cards are generally good anyway. I think it'll be quite good. So, although from your hand, not from your deck. Is that still a 1? I think it's probably still a 1. Because if you just get anything from it, it's pretty insane. Maybe it's not a 1. No, it's still a 1. There's way too many death rattle cards, especially in Priest, right? I think it's still a 1. And they have so many ways to gain cards, so I think it's still a 1. Okay, Ravencaller. We have a 3-mana 2/1. Add 2 random 1-cost minions to your hand. So 3-mana 2/1 and add 2 random 1-cost minions to your hand. I think this is fine in Arena. I think it's actually going to be pretty good because the ones can have utility. That's the first thing. And 2, it kind of like floods the board. It's not like a great on-curve play, but it's fine on curve and it gets you more things to do. I actually think it's going to be a good card, so this one we'll have to revisit. I'm going to put this at a 2. I think it's going to be quite good. Lady in White. Cast Inner Fire on every minion in your deck. Set attack equal to health. I mean, this seems good because you're generally going to take cards that have higher health than attack, especially on Priest. So this has to be a 1. You play this and then your taunts are just insane. You're very rarely taking cards that have the opposite kind of stat line, right? You're not really taking like, I mean, minions in general aren't like, there's like a few cases where it's like a 5/4 that would lose an attack. But for the most part, stats are generally even, like 3/3, 4-mana 4/4, 5-mana 5/5, or it's like 5-mana 4/6, which it would gain 2 attack. Any taunts, right? Like 6-mana 3/8 becomes an 8/8. I think it's definitely going to be amazing. 6-mana 5/5, the stats on it are good anyway. So yeah, I'm gonna put it at an amazing. That's a lot of 1s. Holy crap! I'm gonna put it in a 1. Camellios. Each turn this is in your hand, transform it into a card your opponent is holding. I think it's quite good because it just gives you a lot of information. So yeah, this is probably a 1 as well. You just have a lot of information on their hand. Maybe not a 1, maybe a 1.5 because they could have nothing as well. So it kind of has like an asterisk on it, but it's definitely going to be quite good. I'm going to put it at 1.5. No, it actually should just be 1, right? Like the downside is like too low and the upside is just too ridiculous. Just being able to know what your opponent has is like too good. It's literally ghosting for you. So it's not good in top deck mode, but I would say that the upside is too good. Sound the bells. Echo. Give a minion +1/+2. Paladin spell. So Divine Strength is +1/+2. So it's 2 mana for the Echo text. Meaning you can play this late game, right? You can play on turn 10 for +5. Oh my god, +5/+10. You can play it on turn 6 for +3/+6. Play it turn 4 for +2/+4. I think this is going to be really good because it is flexible, gets you a lot of value, and the other thing is you don't have to cast it on one creature. You can like cast it on multiple creatures, which will be really, really strong too. I think it's going to be a good card. I'm going to put it at 2. Black Howl Gunspire. Can't attack whenever this minion takes damage. Deal 3 damage to a random enemy. I think it's just a little bit too slow. It's a little bit too cute. 7-mana 3/8 do nothing, and then it doesn't actually like guarantee clear board because it's to a random enemy and not to like a random enemy minion. I think if it said random enemy minion, it would actually be a little bit better. I don't think it's very good. I would put it at a 4.5. I don't think you would take this very highly. Curse Castaway. Rush. Death Rattle, draw a combo card from your deck. So we can kind of compare this to Reckless Racketeer, although it can't go face. So the Death Rattle is pretty strong. It's a Reckless Racketeer, and then it pulls a card, which is actually insane. So We can kind of look at it like a deal 5, draw a card. Deal 5, draw a card. And even better, right? You generally want this. It's not quite the same as Starfire, but yeah, I would say that this is actually quite good. I'd say this is a I'm gonna put it at 2. I'm gonna put it at 2. Oh man, I feel like a lot of my ratings are gonna be off, but it feels very good. Maybe a 1.5. Final answer 1.5. It just seems really good on Rogue, because you just want to be able to like last, and this does a lot of the things you need it to do. And the fact that it has a body is better than people think. Anyway, 1.5. Cheap shot. It's Echo, deal 2 damage to a minion. So I think all the Echo cards are really good. Deal 2 damage to a minion, so you can do it like 4 times for 8 mana, deal 8. I mean, it'll just be a good way to clear, and also it's kind of like an AoE for Rogue as well, right? Because you can just keep using it on different things. It's going to be a good card for me, a 2. I think all the Echo cards are good though. Witchwood Grizzly, taunt, lose 1 health for each card in your opponent's hand. In this day and age, it feels like a lot of people play value-oriented decks, so this should be quite good. Worst case, it's a 5 mana, 3... Lose 1 health for each card in your opponent's hand. So if they have 0 cards, then it's a 3/12. If they have 0 cards, it's a 3/12. If they have 6 cards, it's a Fen Creeper. It has to be good, right? This has to be good. Lose 1 health for each card in your opponent's hand. I feel like this should be pretty good. It should be a 3... I think it should be pretty good. I'm gonna put it at good. I'm gonna put it at good. It's amazing. Is it really amazing? I think it's gonna be good. Shit, I actually don't know. It's so hard to think about this. This one I want to revisit for sure. I'm gonna put it at 2. 2 feels like the safe pick right now. Anyway, Toxmonger. It's a 4 mana 2/4 hunter card. Whenever you play a 1-cost minion, give it poisonous. Fine, but not great. Like, it's kind of cute. You can combo it with the rush thing, and then you give your 1 minion cost cards. But it's just like so much comboing. It doesn't seem that good. And you have to play it, not summon it, right? If it said summon, then it would work with Unleash the Hounds, but it doesn't. So for that reason, it's probably below average. I would say 4. I mean, you don't really want to draft Boar, right? So it's probably a 4 in Arena. It's 4 mana 2/4. Duskhaven Hunter, stealth. Each turn is in your hand, swap its attack and health. It's a fine card with stealth. I'm gonna put this at probably a 2, because the stealth thing adds enough on Hunter, right? Because it helps you get there. Having the stealth is pretty relevant on Hunter. Especially with all the rush minions, stealth becomes even better. So I'm gonna put this at good, too. Witching Hour, it's a 3 mana druid card, summon a random friendly beast that died this game. You can manipulate it, but it's probably not good enough because you probably have to draft lower beasts. It's randomly going to be insane, but I don't think it's going to be great. So I think on average it will be below average. I'm going to put 4 because you play a lot of low cost beasts, right? Man, it's really hard to think about this card because it's so draft dependent. I don't know on average how many times it's going to work. So cards like this are so hard to judge, right? Because you're thinking about on average. Like it can be insane. It can just be like the best thing ever. It could be like a 3 mana Tyrantus, right? In theory. But what is it actually going to be? And like, it's not a curved play on 3. It's just not that good. I'm gonna say it's still 4. I think it's below average. Holy Water. Deal 4 damage to a minion. If it kills it, add a copy of that to your hand. It's a priest spell. I think this is really strong. Anything that allows priests to deal damage is pretty insane because they already have stuff like Shadow of Death, Shadow of Pain. They already have AoE. This allows you to have single target removal, and it gains stuff. Put something into your hand, which is actually insane. I'm gonna put this at a 1.5. I don't think it's auto pick because it doesn't do something right away for the board, but it's really strong. So 1.5. All right, 2 mana card. Rat Trap. After your opponent plays 3 cards in a turn, summon a 6/6 rat. Seems a little bit too slow, like too situational. I think it'll get people on like day one when they just like forget that it's a card, but they have to play 3 cards in a turn. It kind of stops people from flooding, but you can just play around it or wait. I think it'll be below average. I'm gonna put this at 4 because I don't think it'll always proc. Cathedral Gargoyle. If you're holding a dragon, gain taunt and divine shield. So it's pretty insane if you have a dragon, and it's pretty average if it's not. So the upside bumps it up to a... Okay, like if it procs, it's like a 1.5, and if it doesn't proc, it's like a 3.5. So 3.5, 1.5, holding a dragon. Put it at like a 2.5, 2. It's like a, yeah. It's either 1.5 if it hits, or 3.5 if it doesn't hit. Wing Blast. Deal 4 damage to a minion. If a minion died this turn, it costs 1. That's absurd. 1 mana, deal 4. That's pretty absurd, right? It's only to minions, but it's still just nutty. And worst case is a 4 mana, deal 4, which is not that bad. And this is just like insane. So I'm gonna put this at... Honestly, the upside is so good that I want to put it at 1. I really think it's close to auto pick. I think 1. It doesn't swing the board, so I'm kind of going back on what I said about the cards, but like it's just too strong. Well, 4 mana, 1 mana, deal 4 damage to a minion is just too strong, especially on Hunter. Woodcutter's Axe. Okay, this is a warrior card. Warrior weapon. Give 2/1 to a random friendly rush minion. Rush is going to be really good already, and it's a death rattle, and it's a 2 mana 2/2. So 2 mana 2/2 is already pretty good, especially because you don't have 2 mana weapons anymore in warrior. And then the death rattle part, rush is so good, and like the +2/+1 is pretty nutty. So I'm gonna put this at 1.5. I think very often you will hit a rush minion, and even if you don't, it's good. So with the buff, I'm gonna put it to 1.5 here. Deadly Arsenal. Reveal a weapon from your deck, deal its attack to all minions. Do this with Gore Howl. Yeah, but the problem is it's like sometimes deal 0, and you're not really drafting Arcanites very highly, right? It's mostly just the Gore Howl that's absurd. Every other weapon has like 3 or 2 attack on warrior. Same with like Molten Blade, so I think it's pretty weak. I'm gonna say it's if it hits for 3, 6 mana deal 3 to everything. It's like okay, but not great. I think it's just too situational, so I'm gonna put it at 4. Witch's Cauldron. It's a 3 mana 0/4 neutral minion. After a friendly minion dies, add a random Shaman spell to your hand. It's a neutral minion. What the hell? I don't remember looking at this card. I think it's really good. Are you guys insane? I think it's really good. How is this bad? Just imagine. Wait, okay, my chat is saying 4 and 5. This is really good. I'm gonna say that it's good. I'm gonna put this at 2. I almost want to put it at 1.5. It doesn't have to have stats to be good because it does something. You don't want to even look at it at like you don't even want to look at it with the stats. Don't think of it as a minion. Think of it as like if you have board, it wins you the game. I think it's really good. I'm gonna put a 2. I'm gonna bet you guys. Alright, this is the one that a lot of people are calling that is trash. Hafu is saying that Witch's Cauldron is a solid 2. I'm gonna take this very highly. Next expansion. It has to be at least decent. Because like don't think of it like if it were a spell that said 3 mana, right? Let's just say, would you play a 3 mana spell that reads, after a friendly minion dies, add a random shaman spell to your hand? I would play that spell, and this is better than that, because it's a minion that needs to be dealt with. Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to call a 2 on this one. 5 mana Dollmaster Dorian. It's a 5 mana 2/6 legendary. Whenever you draw a minion, summon a 1/1 copy of it. This seems like annoying, and it's really good with like death rattles, but it also gives your opponent a lot of information on what you're playing, so it's pretty troll. But you don't care if it's death rattle cards. This will be pretty insane if you have death rattles, and if you don't, I would say it's okay. It just like floods the board. The 2/6 is a little bit weak, but then, if you're able to draw at all, it'll be okay. I think it's probably going to be average, like a 3. I don't think it's going to be very good. Maybe a 3.5, yeah. It's just meh. Meh. Dire Frenzy. Give a beast +3/+3. Shuffle 3 copies into your deck with +3/+3. This seems very good because it's almost like Blessing of Kings. It's a little bit off Blessing of Kings, but it also will shuffle 3 copies of that beast with the +3/+3 on it, which makes it pretty absurd. It's just like pretty nutty to me, so I'm gonna put this at 1. It's just like seems pretty silly anytime you draw one of these, and the upside of this is just too good. Bog Shaper. Whenever you cast a spell, draw a minion from your deck. It's a 7 and a 4/8, which makes the stats okay. It's not terrible, it's not great. You know, the stat line can be seen with, what is it, the 7/4/8 Wind Fury dude? Like, it's fine. It's not something you're happy to play. But the thing is that it has the whenever you cast a spell, draw a minion, and that makes it already way better. So I'm gonna put it at, oh my god, everything I say is very good, but I think it's a 1.5. I'm gonna put a 1.5. I think it's very good because the draw mechanic is pretty busted, right? Like, draw mechanic is like one of the best in the game, and this is a 7 mana 4/8. The stats are fine. It's an elemental, and then it just like, yeah, there's a lot of shaman spells. Yeah, every card is good, honestly. This card is not good. Duskfall and Aviana. On each player's turn, the first card played costs 0. This seems bad because you don't get to play this, and then something like you don't get the effect first. You get it second. So this just seems like very troll. So I'm gonna put this at 4.5 because it has stats. 4.9 because it has stats. It's not literally unplayable. Literally is playable because it has stats. But yikes. It just seems very, very troll. They can just play something ridiculous and then kill your thing, and then you're screwed. So it doesn't seem good. Blood Witch. At the start of your turn, deal 1 damage to your hero. So I didn't think this was that good until I read some of the other cards coming up here. Because this has combo cards with some cards coming up, it gets bumped up. 4 mana 3/6 is already good. And it combos with Spellstone and then a few other cards coming up. So we'll put this at a 2. I would say 2, since it gives you some combo potential and the stats are above average. So it has 2 components to bump it up 0.5. Deathwood Spire is one of them. If your hero took damage this turn, gain lifesteal. So 5 mana 4/6 is already good. It's already like average, not good. I would say 5 mana 4/6 is the average, and then the lifesteal component is actually pretty nuts on Warlock. I think lifesteal isn't that great in general, but on Warlock it's absurd because your health equates to more cards. Cards are good. So I would put this at like 2. I would put this at 2.5 to 2. I would say it's average without the lifesteal, and it's a 2 with lifesteal, so I'm going to put it at 2.5. It's just fine. Duskbat. If your hero took damage this turn, summon 2 1/1 bats. If your hero took damage this turn means you can life tap, right? Like you can just life tap and then Duskbat. So if you tap, you draw a card, you play a 3 mana 2/4 and 2 1/1s. 5 mana 2/4, 2 1/1s, and draw a card. That's pretty damn good. I think this is very good, so I'm going to put this at a 1.5. Gilnean Royal Guard. Divine Shield Rush. Neutral. Each turn this is in your hand, swap its attack and health. This is nuts. This is a 1, because Divine Shield Rush is just silly. It kills something. It does everything that you want it to do, right? Like, you can use it to kill a big creature and then you have a big creature left. Or you can use it to kill a small creature and have a big ass creature on your board. It does exactly what I said, kind of like what you want an amazing top tier auto pick card does, is because the rush is absurd. Divine Shield Rush is absurd. So I'm gonna put this at a 1. Spell Shifter. Each turn this is in your hand, swap its attack and health. I mean, Dalaran Mage is pretty terrible, but it's a 2 mana version. I don't know. I don't really like this card that much. Like, Duskboar is pretty mediocre, and 1/4 is a pretty mediocre, like, thing. I think I could justify taking this on, like, Mage, Shaman, something with that you can benefit a lot with spell damage on, but it's just a little bit too weak for me, so I'm going to put this at 4. Spectral Cutlass. Lifesteal. Whenever you play a card from another class, gain 1 durability. I don't really like this card that much. I think the lifesteal component is cute, and there's a lot of ways to get cards from other classes, but Ooze is very, very prevalent in Arena, so there's that, and also it can very often just be a 4-mana 2/2 heal 4. So I don't think it's that good. I'm going to say it's a 4. It's below average. It's just to me. Like, it's just a little bit too slow. Swift Messenger. It's a 2/6 rush. Each turn this is in your hand, swap its attack and health. So it's a 2/6 rush or a 6/2 rush. I think rush cards are just good as well. 6/2, 2/6. So it's like a fireball, or it's a 2/6. I mean, it's pretty good. I would say it is good. Everything is good in this set, apparently, according to me. But I'm gonna put this at a 2. Like, it just seems really good. So good. I mean, not really good. It's just good. I'll put it at 2. Everything's a 2. Splintergraft. 8-mana 8/8 Druid Legendary. Choose a friendly minion, add a 10/10 copy to your hand that costs 10. I mean, 8-mana 8/8 is fine, right? So average stats. Battlecry is, well, like, you need to have something in hand or on the board to play the Battlecry. It gets you more value, which is just good. So I don't think it's that insane, just because, like, it's really good for value, but it's pretty slow. I'm gonna put this at a 2. I don't think it's a 1 because it doesn't swing the board. Toki Time Tinker. This is a 1. It's 6-mana 5/5 Battlecry, add a random legendary minion from the past to your hand. I mean, legendaries are just in general very good. And then 6-mana 5/5, you can kind of compare it to Grand Crusader, for example, although it's like even better than that because random legendary can actually just win you the game on value. So actually, it's probably not a 1. It's probably a 1.5, right? It's a 1.5. Final answer, 1.5, because it doesn't swing the board. It's not like it doesn't auto win you the game the way some of the other cards do. So I'm gonna put this at 1.5. Voodoo Doll. This is a 1. I saw this card and I was like, what on earth? Choose a minion, destroy the chosen minion. It's a 1. It's a 3-mana 1/1 destroy a card. Like, what? That's just silly, right? That's just so strong. I mean, obviously it's like a slow component, but it, like, you can probably proc it right away. And even if you can't, they're kind of screwed. They have to, like, polymorph or silence that. That's a lot. That's asking a lot. So I think it's really, really strong. Yeah, I'm gonna put this at 1. It's a corruption for 3 mana, but it's on every class. Yeah, you can do it on mage. You can do it, and then, like, there's just so much you can do with this card. Mist Wraith. Whenever you play an Echo card, gain +1/+1. It's a rogue card. Whenever you play an Echo card, gain +1/+1. I mean, Echo is already good, so you should be taking them quite highly. And then it's just pretty nuts. This will end games. I mean, if you can play something like 3 times, it's just 6/8, right? This seems like a 2, a 1.5 to 2, because a 4-mana 3/5 is already average, and then the upside should bump it quite a bit. The upside is actually really strong as well, so I think a 2 is fine. But yeah, that's pretty terrifying. Pickpocket Echo. Add a random card to your hand from your opponent's class. This is just like a refill for Rogue. It's going to be very, 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 very strong, because you can literally just spend the whole turn. It's like the sickest top deck ever for late game Rogue, and you can play it for cheaper. So it's not just like a 10-mana card or an 8-mana card the way Sprint is. You can just use it situationally, and it's refill. I think it's going to be quite good. I think it will be 2. Everything's a 2. It's just good though. It's just good. It might be a 1.5, yeah, honestly. It's just good though. The Glass Knight Divine Shield is also just good. Divine Shield, 4-mana 4/5 Divine. No, 4/3. Excuse me. Oh, it's 4/3. Divine Shield, 4/3. Whenever you restore health, gain Divine Shield. Okay, it's not as. I thought it was a 4/5 for some reason. This is good. So Divine Shield is very good. And then whenever you restore health, gain Divine Shield. I mean, you're not really restoring health that much. The upside, I would say, is like pretty absurd if you get it off. But like by itself, a 4-mana 4/3 Divine Shield is something I would take quite highly. So that's already, I would say that's already a good card in Arena. And then the upside of it, I'll bump it to a 1.5 with the upside. 1.5. Town Crier, 1 mana, 1/2, battle card, draw a rush minion from your deck. It's a 1 mana, 1/2, draw a card. It's curve play on 1. It's a draw card. It's fine. It's good. This is a 2.5. It's not absurd, but it's good. It's something you can play on turn 1. Absurd! Everything 1! I'm gonna put 2.5. I need some 2.5s in here. Organ Abomination. At the end of your turn, deal 2 damage to all other damaged minions. At the end of your turn, deal 2 damage to all other damaged minions. Man, this was Maelstrom Portal, dude. Holy crap. This with Arcane Explosion. This with Whirlwind. But it has that text on it. It still does something, though. I would say it's probably a 2. Wow, Hafu, really? Is it a 2? I think it's a 2. It's just good. God damn it, everything's good. Bellringer Sentry, battle card and death rattle, put a secret from your deck. Okay, this is not just good. Because you don't want to draft secrets, because it's Arena. No one wants to draft secrets, so it's not good. And a 4 mana 3/4 is not good. So bam, it is below average, because you should not be taking secrets anyway. Would I play a 4 mana 3/4 that draws a secret and puts it into the battlefield? I would do it if they both proc, but then I'd have to draft 2 secrets and not draw the secrets before I play this. So it's below average. It's 4. I don't think it's good. Silver Sword. This is a 1. This is a 1. 8 mana 3/4. After your hero attacks, give your minions +1/+1. It's a Paladin weapon. Holy shit. This is absurd. This feels absurd to me because you have initiative. You buff your hand. You buff your board every time you attack, and it's 12 damage. People think it's slow, but I don't think it's that slow. I think it's going to be pretty nuts. I think Arena can be played pretty slowly anyway, and I think the +1/+1 is going to be pretty nuts. 1! Countess Ashmore, 7 mana 6/6. Draw a rush, lifesteal, and death rattle card from your deck. This is a 1. Everything's a 1. I mean, 7 mana 6/6 draw 2 cards is already nutty. 7 mana 6/6 draw 3 cards is absurd. 7 mana 6/6 draw 1 card, I would play that card. So yeah, it has to be a 1. It has to be, everything's a 1 and a 2. Totem Cruncher, this isn't that good, I think. Taunt, it's a beast, shaman card, destroy your totems, gain +2/+2 for each destroyed. I mean, it's just like, it kind of like solidifies your board. And it's a little bit too situational, so I don't really like it. I think it's below average. I think it's a 4. Splitting Fester Root. It is very, very, very slow. Death rattle, summon 2 2/2 splitting saplings, and then each of those split up as well. It's a 2 3 mana 2/2s that split into 2 1 mana 1/1s. I think it's too slow. I think in classes like Paladin, where you can like steed this thing or like buff it, it'll be pretty nutty, but it's just too slow. I think it will be average because it's just too slow. I think it will have a lot of value over time, but to be able to play this and, you know, if they're able to silence or something, you're really, really screwed. Fester Root Hulk. After a friendly minion attacks, gain 1 attack. This is insane, right? This seems good. After a friendly minion attacks, gain 1 attack. I mean, a 5 mana 2/7 is pretty weak. A 5 mana 3/7 is pretty good. A 5 mana 4/7 and up is like, I mean, that's why Nesting Rock is so good, right? 4/7 is absurd. But the thing is, it can keep getting better. So I'm gonna put this at 2. As with everything else that I ever have rated, this is 2. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Mossy Horror. So I don't know how to think about this card. Destroy all other minions with 2 or less attacks. So it's Shadow Word Horror with a body. So Shadow Word Horror is a 4 mana spell that I don't even take very highly. And then you tack on a 2/7 body. 6 mana situational card. 4/7 plus a body. Yeah. Seems pretty good. Seems good to me, man! There's a lot of 2-attack minions in Arena right now, right? Because a lot of the rush cards are 2. Frickin' think it's a 2. I think it's a 2. I think everything is a 2. Oh my god. I think everything's a 2. But it just seems good to me. Like, if we just break it down for what it is, it's a 4 mana. Okay, it costs 4 mana to play Shadowward Horror, and then for 2 mana, you're essentially getting a 2/7 body. How can that possibly be bad, man? That just seems good. Just seems good. Book of Specters. This is draw 3 cards, discard any spells drawn. It's just, this is amazing, right? 2 mana, draw 3. Like, you are playing mage, but even if you discard, it doesn't really matter that much. Like, I would take this every time because it's just insane. Like, even if it's 2 mana, draw 2, it's very good. I think it's a 1. Test Greymane. It's a rogue legendary. Replay every card from another class you've played this game. This seems pretty silly because there's a lot of cards that create new cards, or class cards. The bad thing is, it's really bad against rogue, right? If you're rogue and you're playing against rogue, it's pretty troll. But it'll just win you the game otherwise because it replays other minions as well, right? So you just like rebuild a card. Like, I think it'll be probably at least good. I think it'll be a 2. I think it'll be a 2, but it's hard to say on this one. XD. 2 mana, Archmage Arugal. We have a Mage Legendary. Whenever you draw a minion, add a copy of it to your hand. That seems absurd, right? That seems really, really, really good. It's a 2 mana 2/2. The stats are below average. The upside is absurd if you can draw with it at all, but it has that situational text on it. You could do this with Spectre. I would say that this is a... I'm gonna put it at 1.5 to change things. I don't think it's that bad. I think it's insane value. Arena is about value more than tempo than anything as of late. And you can really just save this to combo with one of your Spectre, the draw cards, or Arcane Intellect as well, right? Like, it's just very good. Bonfire Elemental, 5/5 is average. And then if you played an elemental last turn, draw a card, so it's above average, so 2.5. Blink Fox, 3 mana rogue card, add a random card to your hand from your opponent's class. This is going to be quite good, really, really strong. It's a 3 mana 3/3, which is average stats already. And then the battle cry is ridiculously good. So I'm gonna put this at like a 1.5. I think that the upside is actually ridiculously good. So I don't think it's like S tier because the stats aren't like absurd, but a 1.5 is solid. Arcane Keysmith. Battle card, discover a secret, put it into the battlefield. So I don't like this card that much. I don't think it's going to be that good in Arena because 2/2 is pretty weak, and discovering a secrets are not that strong. There are no secrets that I think are super worth it, so I don't think it's that good in Arena. I'm gonna say that this is average 3. Yeah, you don't have to draft a secret. It's a 3. When I play a card that says 4 mana, 2/2, play a secret. For 1 mana, you're getting a 2/2, I guess, but it's not like you want to play secrets. I don't think it's that good. I don't think it's that good. I really don't think it's that good. I think it's pretty weak. It's a lot of bad secrets too. I mean, it's a 1 mana 2/2, but you're paying. That means you're paying 3 mana for a card, right? I know what it says. Oh my goodness! I can read the card. It discovers a secret, which means you get to pick between 3. It doesn't have to be in your deck, and you play the card, right? I understand. I can read. I understand what it says. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's good. Witchwood Piper, Battle Cry. Draw the lowest cost minion from your deck. It's a 4 mana 3/3 draw card. It's good. It thins your deck. It's like a specific thinning, and it's just good, right? I will put this at a... I'd say it's above average, but it's not a good card. 2.5. Druid of the Scythe. Choose one. Transform into a 4/2 with Rush or a 2/4 with Taunt. So it's flexible, but both options are not that strong. So I'd say it's average. I think 4/2 with Rush is probably better, but still, like the 2/4 or 4/2, it's just not that good. I don't think this, like, I think a lot of the neutrals are like just as good. So I would put this as a 3. Bewitched Guardian. Taunt. Gain 1 health for each card in your hand. So if you have 4 cards, it's a 4/5. Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably a 3. Like, it probably doesn't get too much higher on health. And on average, it'll be a 4-5. A 4-6 would be pretty good. So a 3. Ferocious Howl. Draw a card. Gain 1 armor for each card in your hand. It's a lot like Shield Block. It's a little too slow, I think, in Arena. Like Shield Block, I don't take very highly. And I don't think the armor matters that much. 3-mana draw card is a little bit too clunky. So I would say it's a 4. It's below average. Vilebrood Skitter. It's a 5-mana 1/3 Poisonous Rush. It's a hunter card. It doesn't seem very good to me. I think it's alright, but it's not amazing. It kills off 2 attack creatures and then has a 1/1 left over. But I don't think it's going to be that amazing. I'm going to put this at 3. Maybe I'm wrong on this one, but doesn't seem that good. Carrion Drake. Battle card. If a minion died this turn, gain poisonous. Yeah, I mean, it's a 5-mana 3/7, so the stats are fine. They're pretty good. And then the battle cry happens quite often, so the poisonous makes it very good. I'm going to put it at 1.5. Cinderstorm. Deal 5 damage randomly split among all enemies. That is trash. Because that can hit face as well. And just doesn't seem that good, right? Like, it's like a shitty Arcane Missiles. I'll put it at 4. Maybe a 4.5. Curio Collector. 5-mana 4/4 mage card. Whenever you draw a card, gain +1/+1. This seems pretty silly with the specter of the 2-mana mage spell, draw 3 cards. It's kind of comparable to Daring Reporter, right? It has to be dealt with right away if you play it. But if you can play this and then draw, it'll be pretty absurd. So I think it'll be 2.5. Just because it's not something that's a curve play. It's not really a worse Daring Reporter because it's comparable, but like you can also draw cards on your turn, and there's like people draft draw cards pretty highly. So I think it's fine. Snap Freeze. Freeze the minion. If it's already frozen, destroy it. So it's Shatter or a Freeze. It doesn't seem that good. I mean, Shatter doesn't see play. It's just better Shatter. So I think it's a 4. It's below average, especially because they didn't really come out with more freeze mechanics. Deranged Doctor. 8-mana 8/8 neutral. Restore 8 health to your hero. I mean, 8-mana 8/8 is average. Death Rattle is 8 health is a lot. I'm gonna put this at 2.5. 2.5 seems fine. I think 8 health is a lot, but it's kind of slow, and 8-mana 8/8 is like kind of awkward to play. 2.5 for me. Cauldron Elemental. Your other elementals have 2 attacks. It's an 8-mana 7/7. You can play this, and then your elementals already have the attack. The thing is, I don't know how many elementals you're actually drafting. It's like a below average on stats, and it has a cute little upside, but it's not that good. I would say it's actually below average. I'd put this at 3.5. It's like average to below average. Right? Furious Etin. It's a 7-mana 5/9 taunt. It's like a neutral Ancient of War, which is good. It's like one off from a neutral Ancient of War. It's a big ass taunt and needs to be dealt with, and it's very good. So this is a Pod Creeper is a 6/8. This is a 5/9. It's a 1.5. Darkmire Moonkin. 7-mana 2/8 spell damage +2. That's way too slow. Man, it's just not that good. I don't think you want to take this very highly. Like, even if you have a lot of spells, it's very clunky to play this and then a lot of spells, so I would say it's 4.5 for me. Has stats, so. Mad Hatter, this is a very cute card. 4-mana 3/2, battle cry randomly, toss 3 hats to other minions. Each hat gives +1/+1. So other minions, not just your minions, right? It's not just friendly. So it is pretty troll, but it's very good if you have board control. And I think in Arena you can take upside cards like that because you're always going to be looking to play it when it's beneficial to you. And it will just actually end games if you can get this off, and it buffs 3 minions on turn 4. So I think it's good. I think it's a good card. I'm going to put it at 2. I think the upside makes it worth it. Vicious Scalehide. Lifesteal Rush. 2-mana neutral. 1/3 beast. This card friggin' sucks. 1/3 stat lines are very bad unless they have poisonous. So 1-3 is just not good. Like the lifesteal does not make up for the 1 attack. So this is a 4.5 for me. Tangle for Mystic, 3-mana 3/4, Battle Cry, add a random 2-cost minion to each player's hand. The stats are very good, so it already bumps it to a 3.5, and the Battle Cry I would say is not that good because it does the same thing. It allows you to play it right away on turn 5, but meh. I would just keep it at a 2.5. I don't think this is like absurd, but it's definitely above average because the stats are already above average, so 2.5 for me. Lost Spirit, Death Rattle, give your minions 1 attack. This seems too situational and pretty troll, so like I don't really like this card too much. I would say it's like a 4. Like you can obviously make it work with Shaman comes to mind, but like give your totem some attack, but that's it. It's like a 4. It's just not something you really want to draft highly. Wormguard, if you're holding a dragon, gain 1 attack and taunt. So if you do get it off, it's a 4/11 taunt, which is ridiculously good. 7 and a 3/11 is not that good, but the stats are fine, right? I'd say it's like definitely below average without the taunt, and with taunt, it's like a good card. So I'm gonna put it at, I really think it's just a 3, because it's kind of hard to have the dragon. Yeah, I don't really like it. I'm gonna put it at 3. Fell Soul Inquisitor. 4-mana 1/6 lifesteal taunt demon neutral. Yeah, I don't care if it has lifesteal. It's a 1/6. 1/6s I think we've seen over and over. 1/6, 1/7, 1/4, 1/3, 1/5. These are not good cards. They just don't do enough on the board, and they're just a little bit too weak. So this is a 4.5 for me. Has stats, can't make it unplayable. Hedge Clan Thug, 3-mana 3/3. After your hero attacks, give this minion +1/+1. This is a god tier pick on Rogue. I would take this every time on Rogue, and on everything else is average. Like probably like 2.5 on like other classes that can attack, but you don't always have weapons. But it's a 1 on Rogue. It is a 1 on Rogue. This is nutty on Rogue. It's a 3-mana 4/4 on turn 3, right? Very often, and then you can just keep attacking and buffing it. So, okay, maybe not a 1 on Rogue. 1.5 on Rogue. It's very good. 1.5 on Rogue. This is very, very, very good. With it's too slow on Druid. The reason why it's good on the reason why it's better on Rogue is because you can have the weapon. You can play it on turn 3. You can equip a dagger on turn 2, right? That's often your turn 2. On turn 3, you play this card. You attack. It's a 4/4. On turn 4, you can still play a minion. A 4-drop minion, attack, it's a 5/5, right? It's not the same as using 2 mana to gain +1/+1 every time. So that's why Silithid Swarmer is so strong on Rogue and so weak on the other classes. It's because you don't really have that condition of mana. Anyway, Swamp Leech, 1 mana 2/1 lifesteal. I mean, it's average for a 1-drop, but it's below average because it's a 1-drop. That doesn't draw you a card to do something, so I mean, for a 1-drop, it's average, which makes it below average, right? Isn't it just a 3.5 to 4 because you don't really want to draft this card? So, yeah, you just don't want to draft it. Sandbinder, battle card, draw an elemental from your deck. It's a 4-mana specific Gnomish Inventor, which is fine, right? Like if you have elementals, it is a average card. It's a 3. Obviously, it's bad if you don't have elementals. I don't know what to say. It's just fine. Gnomish Inventor is fine. This is fine. Life Drinker. It's a 4-mana 3/3. Deal 3 damage to the enemy hero. Restore 3 health to your hero. I think this is fine on like Warlock and Hunter, where like dealing additional damage to your opponent is very beneficial, and healing is very beneficial on Warlock. But I don't think it's worth it because Arena is all about fighting for the board, and this doesn't do that. So I'm gonna put this at average. Dude, did I just hear it's average? So that makes it below average. I mean, the average 1-drop is not a good card in Arena, which makes it below average. Right? Does that make sense? The average 1-drop in Arena is bad, but it is the average 1-drop, which makes it below average. Does that? Can you follow that train of thought? I don't know. I don't know how else to put it. Like, if we compare it to, like, the average weapon is good, right? The average weapon is good, and it's the average weapon, then it's good. It makes sense. Yeah, okay. Anyway, moving on. Chief Inspector, 5 mana 4/6. Battle cry, destroy all enemy secrets. The battle cry is negligible, right? It's just fine, but the stats are good, so we'll bump it from a 3 to a 2.5. Like if it hits secrets, great. If it doesn't, fine. It's a 4/6. You can play it. It's with the upside. If it hits on the upside, it's like a 2, right? And if it doesn't, it's a 3, so it's a 2.5. Walnut Sprite Echo, 3 mana 3/3. Echo cards are just good. They are just good. You can play it on turn 3. You can play it later on. It will always garner value, so it's a good card in my book too. Marsh Drake, summon a 2/1 poisonous Drake Slayer for your opponent. So it's very, very, very good on Rogue, and it's kind of troll on other classes. So you can obviously get value from this, but it puts a situational text on it. So it's quite good on Mage as well. You can play this. It's like a 5 mana card, right? For Mage. On Rogue, it's like the nuts. On Mage, it's quite good, and on other classes like Druid is probably playable as well. But you know, there's like the taunts in the way. It's definitely not a bad card, but I would say that anything that like is situational like that, like it has the poisonous thing that can make it awkward, it can often be just a dead card, and that makes it really, really awkward. On Rogue, it's actually like 1.5, right? This is just very, very good. And on Mage, and I wouldn't even say Druid because taunts are a thing. On Mage, it's probably a 3, because on Mage, it's 5 mana 5/4. And on other classes, I think it's pretty bad because like you can trade off your guys into the 2/1, but you have to have guys, and you have to be able to deal with the 2/1. And it's just like, I don't know, it's just a little troll for me, in my opinion. So yeah, I'm gonna put it at average for most classes, and then like 1.5 for Rogue. Honestly, anything that summons like one health minion on Rogue is very, very good. Unpowered Steambot is a 0/9 taunt. That is a 5. Doesn't do anything. Man, that's a 5. It heals you for 9. I don't think healing for 9 is worth it. I guess it does something, so it can't be a 5, right? It's a 4.9. I don't think you take this. This is bad. Baleful Banker. It's a 2 mana 2/2 neutral. Shuffle. Choose a friendly minion. Shuffle a copy of it into your deck. Yeah, it's fine. It's not that good because it's kind of situational, and like you don't necessarily get what you want back. It's an on curve play. It's below average on curve, and then the upside is like not even that good. So I would say it's like average. I'd say it's like 3.5. I don't think you take this that highly because you can't draw that card very reliably. So yeah, 3.5 for me. Swamp Dragon Egg. Death Rattle. Add a random dragon to your hand. 1 mana card. It can see play on like... Can it see play? I don't know. I think it can see play on like Paladin maybe. It's pretty troll. Like it's 1 mana do nothing. You draw a dragon. I don't really like that. When you play a card that says 1 mana draw a dragon, 1 mana get a dragon, a random dragon, or like add a random dragon to your hand. I don't know if I would play that card, right? You would play it? I'm not super sure I would. Dragons are pretty good. You have to proc it, but I mean, This seems like below average to me. I would say it's a 4. It doesn't seem worth it. Ghostly Charger, a 5 mana 3/4 Divine Shield Rush. This is insane. It is like Psychotron, but with charge and no taunt. It's insane. This is a 1. Honestly, this has to be a 1, right? Like 3/4 Divine Shield. That's just insane to me. That has to be a 1. Divine Shield Rush. Divine Shield Rush. That has to be a 1. I think Divine Shield Rush is just silly. Yeah. It's a Psychotron with Rush without taunt. Okay. I'm gonna put this at a 1. I think it's gonna be nutty. I'm gonna take it very highly. Prince Liam. It's a 5 mana 5/5 battle card. Transform all 1 costless cards in your deck into legendary minions. The upside is not that good just because that means you're drafting 1-drops and then you have to have this. It's a legendary. It's very unlikely that happens. If you first pick it, I'm still not sure you would draft 1s very, very highly. Yeah, and it's in your deck, not even in your hand. So it's just not good. All one cost cards, yeah, you get secrets too, but I don't think it's very good. So the stats are average, the upside is like pretty fine, but I just don't think you're gonna take one cost cards. So I'm gonna put it at 2.5. It's just not that good. It says transform all one cost cards in your deck, not in your hand. Hidden Wisdom. After your opponent plays 3 cards in a turn, draw 2 cards. These don't seem very good to me, right? Like it probably will proc at some point, but it's like really delayed card draw, and they can play around it forever if they want to. So I think it's like a 4. I don't know. I don't really like cards like this. Quartz Elemental, 5/8, can't attack while damaged. It's obviously statted amazingly, and it's a priest card. I'm not really sure how troll the can't attack while damaged will be, because you're still a priest and you can still heal. But you have to heal it back to full to attack every time, which makes it pretty clunky, I think. I think it'll be... I don't think it's going to be that good. I think it's going to be around average, because it can fight for the board really well. But at the same time, they have to like keep pumping heals into this. Like, I think you can kill one thing, and then it's going to be a while till you can play a second thing. So it's just kind of weird to me. Night Skill Matriarch. It's a 7 4/9. Whenever a friendly minion is healed, summon a 3/3 whelp. This seems pretty good because it's like a 7 4/9 that has to be dealt with. It has to be dealt with. It's a priest card with 9 health, and you get infinite value after. So that seems very strong to me. And it's a dragon, so you proc dragon synergy. I think it's a 1.5. It's just very strong, very ridiculous. Divine Hymn. Restore 6 health to all friendly characters, including your own face. That's silly. I mean, this has to be good, right? It just has to be good. Like, I don't think it's gonna be absurd, but like, it'll be pretty nutty with like cleric and stuff. So I'm gonna put it at 2. It's probably actually better than 2, but situationally better than 2. I'm gonna put 2. Squash Sling, 2 mana, 2/1, restore 2 health, battle cry. That's really good. Man, I'm gonna put this at a. I want to put it at 2 again. I want to put all the echo cards at 2. They just seem so good. So like you can play this 4 times, 5 times. It's just good, right? It's just good. It's just good. 2. It's just good. Hafu 2018. 3 mana 2/4 Cutthroat Buccaneer combo. Give your weapon 1 attack. It's a pirate. I hate pirates because I hate the crab, the crawler, and the combo doesn't seem worth it. It's an on-curve play that's understated, and then the combo seems pretty lackluster to me, especially in arena. 2/4 stat line is very weak, and the 1 attack isn't worth it. So I'm gonna put it at below. I'm gonna put average to below average, 3.5. I don't like this card at all. I mean, I think the 2/4 stat line makes it below average, right? And then I'll bump it to a 0.5 because of the combo. I don't like it. Earthen Might. Given a minion +2/+2, if it's an elemental, add a random elemental to your hand. It's a Shaman spell. I think this is quite good. It's just like Mark of Yasharaj, but for elementals. And adding elementals is good. +2/+2 is good. +2/+2 on just anything is fine too. So it's just good. It's just good too. Zap. Deal 2 damage to a minion, overload 1. 0-mana cards are just strong in general. It's like a tempo card. You know, I think it's a fine card. I think it'll definitely see play. I think a 2.5. I don't think it's like an amazing card, but it'll be like just a little quick tempo swing for Shaman. 2.5. The reason I'm putting it at 2.5 is because like Shaman already has so much removal that you don't even need stuff like this. And in arena, you're not really like arena doesn't feel like a tempo game anymore, does it? It feels like a value game, and this is like no value. So it's very good for what you're paying. You're paying nothing. You pay 0. I guess you pay 1 mana next turn. Once again, like I think if we saw this in Classic, it would be a different story. But with the way Arena is now, you're playing just like cards that create cards with these massive boards, with these massive board swings, right? And just yeah, like I feel like Shaman already does such a good job of removing stuff that you don't really want cards like this. Yeah, I think a 2.5 is fine. Shadowwalk. It is a 9 mana 6/6 Shaman Legendary. Battle cry. Repeat all other battle cries from cards you played this game. Targets chosen randomly. This just seems good, right? Seems good. I think like you can like you're still taking Stonehills pretty highly. You take like Discover cards pretty highly, battle cries pretty highly. Like this seems like it'll be very good. I think it'll be definitely something that can clear boards, and I'm not super sure how it will do, but it seems like it'll be good. I'm gonna put it at a 1.5 because I don't actually know what happens in these things, but in theory it should be good. Blazing Invocation? Blazing Invocation. Invocate. How do you say that word? Whatever. Anyway, it's a 1-mana Shaman spell. Discover a battle cry minion. Man, you can discover this, huh? That's pretty sick. It's really good because you can get Shudderwalk, you can get Fire Elemental, you can get a lot of good stuff. Battle cries are just good. Invocation. Gotcha. Anyway, I would say this is quite good. Discover is just good. Discover is just good. So I'm gonna put this at 2. It's just good. It's just good. Fiendish Circle. Summon 4 1/1 imps. It's just like calling the finishers for a Warlock, which seems not that good on Warlock. Doesn't seem that good to me, right? Like I think on Shaman has more value because you have Bloodlust, Flame Tongue Totem, Evolve. But on Warlock it seems worse. So I would put this at below average. I think it's a 4. It's just like not that good. Ratcatcher. Rush. Destroy a friendly minion and gain its attack and health. It's a nice way to proc death rattles, but it's just yeah. I think with death rattle cards it'll see a lot of cool play. Like doing this on eggs, it'll be really cool. Overall, it's kind of awkward to play, right? I think it's a little awkward to play in arena, so I put this at 4. I think it's below average because you think it's sick, do you? Is it sick? Okay, let's imagine a board state. Can we just come up with a random board state? So 3/5 on the board. You have a 4/4. What do you even do? You go face. You eat it, and then you trade. 6/6. You have a 6/3 left over. I don't know. I actually don't know. I'm trying to imagine this card. It's really hard for me to imagine this card. It doesn't seem that good to me. I'm gonna put it at a 3. I don't know. You're swaying me a little bit, Sunglitters, but I don't know. You think it'll be a 2. I think you might be right. I'm still gonna put it at average. I think a lot of the other cards I've seen are just better than this. Rush can't hit face, Kamkuzan. Rush can only hit minions. Dark Possession. 1 mana. Deal 2 damage to a friendly character. Discover demon. That's fine, right? Like, dealing 2 damage, you just hit yourself in the face for 2 damage. You discover a demon. That seems pretty good. You can get, like, Jiraxis or something troll. Seems good to me. Seems like, I don't think it's that good. I'd probably put it at, like, a 2.5, because there's a lot of crappy demons. So, like, 2.5 seems fine. Witchwood Imp. Like, that's a shitty demon. Give a random friendly minion 2 health. I mean, it's definitely a better card than most one drops in its stealth. But it doesn't seem like that phenomenal. Well, it's not that phenomenal. It's like, okay. So I would put this at, I honestly just put this at a 3. I just feel like you're playing a lot of, like, I just don't feel like you're playing a lot of tempo games in arena. Maybe I'm wrong about this, and it will really depend on how arena is, right? Like, back in the day, Yeti used to be absurd because it was like a curve game. It was a tempo game. Now Yeti is not that good, right? It's like about average. And it's like still very well statted on turn 4, but it's like that doesn't even mean that much anymore. So when I see something like this, it doesn't seem that good. I'm gonna say it's like, I just think it's below average. I just don't think you want to draft cards like this in general. So for me, I'm gonna put this at 4, below average. Curse of Weakness. Echo. Give all enemy minions -2 attack until your next turn. So it's a way for you to just let your board trade. So it's kind of silly if you can do this. If you can, like, it's like pint size. What is it called? Pint size potion. It's like pint size potion. It'll be really, really, really strong if it allows you to trade off. So I think it'll be a good card. I think it just good is fine. I think 2. Oh, because it gives all enemy minions -2 attack until your next turn. Until your next turn. I think you're right. I think I'm wrong. I think it's probably, I don't think it's an S tier card, but I'll put it at a 2. It is very good. I misread this card. I thought it was give all enemy minions -2 attack for the turn, but it's until your next turn. so you can use it like a freeze. So I think you're right. I think I'm wrong. Rabid Worgen, 3-minute 3/3 rush. 3/3 rush is pretty good. I would say it's a 2.5, maybe a 2. Dude, I think all the rush cards are absurd, and this is well statted, right? So it's a 2. It's a 3/3 charge. That's insane. It's very solid, yeah. Ghost Light Angler. It's a 2-minute 2/2 Echo. Murloc. I think all the Echo cards are pretty good. So I think this is like one of the weaker ones for sure, but probably still like a 2.5. I think this is the weakest Echo card I've seen. It's still an Echo card, 2.5. Echo is just good. Night Prowler, Battlecry. If this is the only minion in the battlefield, gain +3/+3. It's a at best 4-minute 6/6. I don't think it's very good. It's like kind of situational. So I'm gonna put this at a 4, because like the upside is ridiculous, but the down, like, it's pretty hard to get this off. Paragon of Light. I think I did this right. Did I do everything? I did everything. Okay. Ah, I feel like my brain goes to mush when I'm thinking about these cards. Like, have you guys seen Hunter x Hunter? It feels like Gone. I feel like Gone with like the steam coming out of my ears. Everything seems pretty strong, to be honest. It feels like the set is going to be pretty ridiculous, but yeah, a lot of the ratings will have to do with how arena changes. Like if it's going to be a value game like it's been, or if it's going to be more tempo. But I feel like it's still going to be a value. Thank you guys for watching my Witchwood review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I said a lot of 2s. There are a lot of things that are 2s, a lot of 1s, a lot more 1s than I thought, but it just felt like a lot of cards are going to be insane. And I think I'm even undervaluing how good Echo and Rush are going to be. But if I just think about it, they just feel absurd to me. But we'll have to see. I'll definitely do a review of my review. And let me know if you guys disagreed on, like super disagreed on some of my picks. And I will definitely revisit this maybe a month in after the expansion.